So typically we look at the meeting minutes from previous meetings, but we don't have all the members here, so we.
It'd probably be best to wait until we have a full complement, yeah.
Okay.
Because in the minutes we're getting caught up. Do we have all past meetings yet, or?
I only did watch the last one.
Okay,
I believe from our last meeting, we were speaking earlier, it looks like we're gonna have 3 months of minutes. So because 2 months were adjourned at the last meeting. So we'll have those 2 plus last month's meetings. We'll
okay.
probably three to talk about.
Yeah, I would just wait till we have full.
Sure.
All right, so, we're here with the, appeal number 839 and area variance. Looks like the, applicant requesting an area variance for construction of a 30 by 50 accessory storage building on an existing 6.32 acre lot. The applicant is requesting to place a proposed building within required setback dimension of an R5 district. The proposed setback is 24 feet from the front property line and 40 feet is required.
Mr. Hutchins is here.
Yes. Okay, so typically, you read through this, Jim Mark's made some notes, came out to the team, he makes an assessment. Do you mind just kind of walking us through what you're trying to do, what the concerns you have are?
Sure.
And could you say your name and address for the record?
Daniel Hutchins, 369 Gansford Road, Fort Edward.
Thank you.
So I guess we're going to start on, like anybody else, you accumulate more cars when you buy a house, more lawnmowers, tractors, more this and that. I had built a garage years ago on the property. We had almost 6.5 acres there. Bought the house, 2-car garage. We had a previous 3-car garage at the other house. So I built a nice 32 by 32 garage 8-9 years ago. Got the permit here when you guys were at the other building and all that stuff. As time goes on, you accumulate more stuff. So that 32 by 32 garage is now 10 by 10 with everything in there. The wood splitters, the tractor, the 2 vehicles, my welding equipment, all the tools and blah, 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 and it just shrinks. Everything's got to come out if you want to work it. So the way our land is, and I have some pictures also on my phone that maybe you don't.
I provided the pictures, Dan, that you sent me to the members. They have them of your front yard where the location of the garage is proposed
Okay.
and of the neighbors to give them a flavor of
Oh, yes.
the proximity of the
Okay.
neighboring structures.
Perfect, thank you. Aside from our house in the newer garage, not the one that I'm proposing, but the whole area, the whole 6.32 acres is all woods. And there's a little creek, if you will, little whatever you want, in midway down our driveway. So the only place, as soon as you come off Gansford Road and come into our driveway 20 feet, there is an opening to the left that has already been cleared in. When we bought the house 9 years ago, that it was just perfect here. So this is it. Everything else from there back as you go up our driveway, and I have pictures in a moment, is just trees. And then as you come up 300 feet to the house and the garage, it's house, a little bit of grass, garage, and then trees. So it would cost us much to rent the bulldozer and get the big equipment, and we have a paved driveway too. So now when you get that, now that bulldozer is going to ruin the driveway with heavy equipment, and it's just, plus it's kind of the trees in the back kind of kill you. So this just seemed to be the solution that would work. But as we got into it a little bit more, and I asked for a permit, or we started the process, we needed our dimensions of how far off I've got to be and where it's going to be. So I'm asking for 16 feet. I'm going to be 24 feet in from my step point, and I hired Don. I'm sorry?
Pigeon?
Yes, Don Pigeon to survey everything, just so it's better for you guys, and you're not getting a crappy drawing from me to, you know, this is where I want. So he surveyed everything, and then, we put in our boundaries.
And the reasons why that's useful is oftentimes when we see these things, people attempt to measure from the center line of the road or approximate their front property line that way. This is a surveyed property line, so we're.
So it's not an estimate.
Correct. We know of the exact relief that is being requested.
Mr. Hutchins, is this the proposed?
Yeah, yes,
I'm sorry, normally I try to get out and look myself.
No worries.
Your ones were very expensive and thorough, so.
Oh, well, thank you. I tried to be as, you know, as good as possible, but, again, as I said, when I get to the pictures, once you see after that, again, trees all the way up the driveway, and then past the house on the other side, so that's the spot. I don't need any side relief, just from, you know, the road, the front, I guess you'd call it the front setback.
Can I ask a question on the you showed this picture, right? Yes. This is your driveway,
Yes, sir.
so I'm a little bit of a dummy, so help me out. We're going here,
Yeah, so here's the cancer road referred to, right, and then you turn into my driveway,
Yep.
and this will come up 300 feet to our house.
so this is the
This is the rectangle, if you will.
cutout area.
Yes,
So
and that's already been there. Now on this side, you come in 20 feet, and that trees again.
All right.
So that is the spot.
There was some grading that would have needed to be done if you were to excavate, is that?
Yes, as a matter of fact, if you look at that picture, the way the land goes, it actually the driveway actually starts to go uphill and crest. So it would be,
That's what I thought.
yeah, you're really taking out chunks and chunks of that.
The other thing I noted in my notes in terms of, you know, feasible alternatives, there is the appearance of, you know, a lot of space in the rear. But given the orientation of the house, it somewhat limits the side access, you know, up the sides of the property, and you'll probably be doing a lot of clearing just for the access, you know, to go to that.
We're making, you know, what little backyard we have, we're making an addendum, and then our propane tanks back there, and it's just, and then it crests and then goes downhill. So, I don't know what else. I have other pictures. If, there are a few houses, and again, I realize that, there may have been new zoning requirements. I don't know how late they are, but there are a few houses, a couple houses on either side of me that are actually closer to the road than what I am asking for. So I have pictures of that. There might be a couple there.
I gave them the one you sent me email.
But, for instance, if you look at this, and I'll just start with you, sir. If you looked at that and flipped it to the left, you'll see that one house is almost on the road, which is, and that's actually right near the curve where the Candy Cane, before the Candy Cane is. So, and if you flick it a couple more, you'll see another house, that's almost in front of my house to the right. And he has a porch, maybe the picture could have been a little bit better, but what you're seeing is how close he is, but there's actually a porch that comes out, and I think some of the trees are blocking it, so the porch is actually even closer. And then the next picture would be, the gentleman to our new neighbor to the right of me. And he would be roughly the same distance from the road in as what I am asking for the beginning of my storage unit.
You roughly line up pretty close with the frontage going down that road.
Yes. Did you start this film?
Yeah, I tried to-
Yes, this is the house.
Yeah.
If you were looking at the front of the,
Yes.
this would be a house 2 or 3 down the road.
Okay, so
And
this
they
is
are.
coming down.
No, it's in,
Yes,
this picture of the area.
This house.
Copy, have a copy of it.
6, 8 feet
This is
from
his.
the road.
Yes.
There is another house
Yes.
How close is he to the next one?
I'll tell you.
That's what he wanted to say.
Because he's already infringing.
Now, that house is in the way, and he would line up.
He would
just about
be
the same-
23 feet away from the property line there and 24 feet. He meets the side setback.
That is,
The
that is.
relief he's requesting is from the front.
And if you're just doing
He
that,
owns the property here, and he's asking for the setback.
This is Gamble, no, he's asking for the setback from the front. The side he meets, yes, from the town.
So he has enough here.
So if you included the porch.
Here's the lands of
6, 8
Gamble.
feet closer to that house.
He meets the property
Yes.
setback. There's one in the front.
Absolutely, I understand. But on the other hand,
All right, because.
we're not gonna be asking the gentleman to sell his house.
No, right.
Or the other two.
Where would
So
you be doing
would that
it?
be-
Where are you now? You're here.
I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you.
Here's
And,
Nevin.
we also contacted Mike Keegan, the, New York State.
Has his garage.
State
He's put dirt.
Department of Transportation,
So
and that gentleman came.
Okay, well, you're gonna have
saw
a
the
chance to
site,
speak,
and,
so they'll open
either
up a
Jim
hearing.
or
Okay,
Okay?
the other
thanks.
gentleman.
You're doing that tonight?
Yes.
Matt, we talked with him, and either Mike came to the
Thank you.
house, or they gave them the exact plot plan and where I am, and what I'm asking for. But he is aware of the situation, and he, did whatever he had to do, and he said that there is no future plans of doing anything to Gansford Road 32, we're not gonna widen it. And on the other side, just so you know, on the other side of the road, there is like, wetlands, cattails
Yep.
and all that. So they're not gonna be able to widen that side. They're not widening our side. They're not changing the course of the turn near the candy cane. So he was all good with that. And that's how I took the next step. And spoke with Jim and Matt and started this, so.
I understand the project, definitely there's been a request, there's been a notification. Going through the application, I did notice that we included some of the letters from some of the neighbors.
Yes.
Were on the board, some of the approving letters. And I didn't know, I assume these are all the ones that you've received at this point, Jim, right? All we've seen here.
Yeah, we do have a properly noticed public hearing. I think we do have.
I was gonna ask
Yeah,
that, yeah, so,
So, we do need to open the public hearing.
yep, so we got these, we have several in here, and then just open the public hearing, and see if everyone else here wants to speak. So maybe she said, do you want to speak tonight, or?
Where he's putting it looks fine to me.
Could you tell us our name and address?
My name is Lily Evans. We own the property 377 and 379 on Gansford.
They're adjoining on the other side. If you look at his map, their name is noted on the, I think it's on the northerly side.
No, we'll plan.
Yeah, Nevins, lands of Nevins. So she's one of the adjoining neighbors.
My only concern is being too close to the property line. He's already dumped dirt on one side of his garage, which approaches our property. And I don't know if he's aware, but I have had people tell me that his turnaround spot, he's dumped dirt so he can have more turnaround spot. That concerns me.
May I speak to that?
Sure.
Butch
Mhm.
was well aware of that, and this was a few years ago. He told me that, actually, when we paved our driveway,
Mhm.
the gentleman that came in and kind of smoothed things off and made it, he had, many scoops, if you will, with that, little, what do you call it? Like a small backhoe.
Mhm.
He dumped it over there, but Butch said that it would be okay if I ever had any scraps and pieces to just dump over there. So if you were offended by that, I apologize and I will do it again. I didn't know. But a few years ago, when Butch comes over, we talked, we chatted, he said that that would be no issue. So I was totally unaware that if that's a concern of yours, I apologize. I won't do it anymore.
Okay, my concern is, it's on our property. And if we ever wanted to sell, what kind of a problem would we have? Because you're turning around in that spot.
Turning around. I'm not turning around in
Okay,
that spot here.
you're parking,
That's where where my garage is, just so we're on the same page. My house, the garage I built, and to the right of that, I park my trailer there, which is still my property. Just as you go over the embankment, the hill, was when I was told by Butch is yours, because it kind of goes at an angle, if that's what we're talking about. Now, that being said, and I don't want to go too through that, I'm not here to argue,
okay,
but a couple years ago, when your tree fell and slammed into my pressure washing trailer and caused a little bit of damage, I mentioned it to Butch.
he told me there was no damage from that tree.
Well,
And he wanted the tree off of your property.
well,
And when Butch went over, Butch said there were, the tree, the main part of that tree wasn't on your property, just that.
correct, correct, you're absolutely right. So what I did, and my wife helped me, is we cut up everything that was on top of my trailer, got all the stuff, and again, I threw it over the embankment because it is your tree. And I cut down over the embankment, I cut what was kind of hanging over, and we just threw it there. So if you were worried about me throwing a little bit of dirt over the edge, why does he have a couple trees that are just hanging there and just there? If that's, I mean, what is the big deal?
The dirt over the property is not a concern.
Okay.
You using it is.
I'm not using it. What do you mean? I'm never over the embankment. I don't turn around there because I turn around on my driveway. I don't understand. I don't think you understand. I'm not turning there.
Maybe I don't, but I would like that property line redone.
Okay, well, I mean, you can hire a surveyor just like I did. I'm not turning around there because that is what you own, is over the embankment. My pressure washing trailer is right next to my house, and I still own another 10, 15 feet that way before it crests. Anything after that is yours, to my understanding. But there hasn't been a survey there in a long time, and again, I apologize to you if you don't want me to have any other pieces or parts to throw over the hole. But I don't use that to do anything with, because like I say, I hook up my trailer and I go, and when I come in my driveway, I pull all the way up to my house and back in right next to my.
Just so we can get some bearings here, I mean, I think we're a little off topic here about this issue, but just to get some bearing, it says here on your survey that there is an old wire fence that is on the property line.
And again, where are we talking? Are we talking-
Along the back of your house, along the back of your garage, on her property line.
You would have.
The reason why I'm saying that is if it is in fact there as a bearing mark out in the field, that old wire fence is on the property line, if it's still there. It says on this survey that it is.
You would have to, well, again, if you're looking at what Don did, he didn't go anywhere near there. He was in the front. That could have been off of an old one or the last one, the original one that he did, because he asked me for a copy of that, so I gave it to him, and then he just amended it with the thing in the front.
Oh, I see.
So he did not go and relook at anything else.
So that old wire fence is not there.
I don't believe so, and if it is, we would have to go way deep in the woods, and there might be a piece in a park.
All right, I'll
Sure, I
find it.
don't know.
Yeah, I think the discussion, I mean, what I can offer is, I will mention this to Pete, our code enforcement officer tomorrow, and see if he can take a ride up there and look at the placement of this fill. It's a little off topic. I do recall seeing an aerial photograph of the property where your house and your current house and existing garage is. It appears that it's well on your property. So, but we can go up and look at the placement of the fill and see if there's any, or the tree falling, and see if there's any encroachments either way.
Okay.
All right? But I can tell you, this proposal tonight for this proposed garage is in the front corner opposite from you.
Yeah, I only wanted to see where it was to make sure it wasn't their property.
It's actually on the other side of my driveway when you come in, it would be on the left.
It's towards the Gambas.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
But we'll take a ride out there and look at it for the both of you.
Maybe else in the public hearing, I just need to speak tonight, anyone else, we're still on Zoom.
Yeah, let me just make sure nobody's on.
I'm on Zoom land.
Nope, we have nobody on.
All right, close the public hearing?
Yep. Yep.
Close it. All right,
And I would also duly note that this is an exempt action, being an area variance from seeker.
thank you, I appreciate that.
Just get that on the record as well.
Thank you. And then you can also look at in addition to the seeker, which obviously we don't need in this instance, but area variance, and the application has the five circumstances must be met or it reaches. So the strict application of said dimensional requirements will develop and specify terms and difficulty to the applicant. And that instance, using pictures,
Yes.
building garages, they really have really compelling costs, right? I mean,
Thank you for coming.
Looking at this property, you have this large area that's already cleared ready. You would have to go, what, 8, 10 feet maybe into this tree line to get the official setback you need, to get back in there?
I would say closest to 16 on the other side, to push everything there. And as I said, as you go up the driveway, the whole land on that side goes up hills.
So you have to cover this and take down some trees.
Yes.
Down here, so that's practical difficulty you're specified. Right, yes. So that's one, I guess we're back on that one. 2, how substantial is your request, variance relation to requirements? You're asking for a 16-foot variance on a 40-foot setback, which is a 40% variance, which is substantial. We have done up to 50, we've done even larger in the right circumstance. 40% is, to me, it's kind of rather large. So then the difficult cannot be alleviated by some practical method, feasible for the applicant to pursue. Again, the tree clearing, so I get to type back, we can get into research. There will be no substantial change in the character of the neighborhood, detriment to neighborhood adjoining properties. So you have 3 letters that attest that they don't have an issue with it. You show documentation that the road is of similar structure, so I think we passed that one, number 4. And again, it feels free, gentlemen, to speak up if I'm going to interject, please, by all means. And then 5 would be, there would not be material detrimental to the purpose of the character of the property, or conflict of description, purpose, and district objective, and plan or policy of the town. To our knowledge, we wouldn't really have any of those effects. So again, if you cross that threshold, the one piece there though is that there's the variance which really make a specific practical difficulty from the zoning boards. Again, so we meet those 2 criteria. Really, the one that is sticking with me is the strict application, number 1, of said dimensional requirements will result in specified practical difficulty to the applicant. It is on Route 32, it's a county route, it's a state route through there. We are within the setback, obviously. We have a survey, which I'm a little confused on. We had a surveyor come out, and parts of this are accurate, parts of this is verified, but parts of this is historic.
Everything, I'm sorry, everything is accurate. It's just if you were talking about what that Mrs. Nevins brought up about another thing,
That's on the far side of the property, yep.
yeah, totally opposite side and which ways back has nothing to do with this.
Fully understood. Point being, you can verify the fence with iron rod on that side, which then you said that it worked specified in the front of the building. So you only really know is 24-foot setback to the proposed start of your 30-foot building. Now, on this plan, it doesn't show me the house. You described it pretty well. I think I know where it is. We're okay with that. But again, we're talking about cutting approximately, I would say, again, you gotta cut 16 feet into these trees, which we don't have a picture of, and that's what you have to do to get the foundation in. That's the difficulty we have. So we're approaching on your, a state highway, and for what? To avoid 12 feet of cutting back into the woods. You're cutting into a hill, you're not burning in fill, we're actually digging into it, so you have some forces. You're just really taking down 15 feet of trees.
Yes. It adds to the cost of the building. It would be thousands of dollars. It would be perhaps hurting the driveway when you bring in heavy equipment and then unloading it. You know, I don't want to spend another $8,000 to take out, say, you know, and I don't know, there's trees, there's stumps, there's whatever, you know.
Agreed, it's gonna be clear to ground, yeah, that's big, I understand. So yeah, $16,000 is the hardship, and I'm not sure that, I mean, it is a nice piece of land, you have a nice flat area, I understand it's ideal, but I feel there's ways to achieve it within this plan that don't allow us, and every variance stays with the property, and we get this variance for that, and that's kind of always gonna be a building allowed that close to Route 32. I understand that you've done some preliminary research, there's no immediate plans, but 50 years down the road, neither of us know. And again, I don't see, again, guys, feel free to interject, 6 to 8 grand is not necessarily way a 40% variance in my eyes on this piece of property. There's a large land, a 6-acre land you're not gonna find, you've got room to run. I think.
Well, I think I've explained the reasons why, that, you know, this would be the spot rather than going, say, up my driveway, you'll hit my garage, then you'll hit my house, and then the land, I've got a little bit of grass, if you will, in the front and back. And then we have our propane tank, and we have, you know, a pool and other things. I can't just make another road, if you will, and then in back of that, the land dips down, and there's another little creek that runs, so now you're getting into moving water or you.
Creek is again, I know it's.
I guess,
There's two, actually, one is on the front, underneath the bridge, and then there's another one that goes, behind the house, behind our grass.
the question I would pose, is there, any potential for, you know, 18 or 20 feet as opposed to 16? You know, is there any dimension that we can look at short of the 16 feet that,
Maybe make a compromise, is that what you're
well,
saying?
I'm saying that to address the concern you're hearing, you know, about 16 feet being, you know, a lot, is there another dimension that works without getting too far into a deep cost and practical difficulty?
Well, I mean,
Because bear in mind, the other thing I should say is the setback is to the edge of the eve, not the building wall. So if you have a 1 or 2 foot eve on this building, the setback is measured from that edge.
I understand.
So,
What if-
so is there a dimension that works,
Okay.
you know, off of the 16-foot request?
If I could, instead of 16, if we could say 12, so that would bring 4 feet, and I would go more this way, would that?
Well, to Mr. Manning's point, in this picture, it doesn't appear to me, and I apologize, I haven't been to the property. It doesn't appear to be really heavily wooded there.
I've trimmed that already, and in that picture, that was as I was doing this at the beginning. But in that picture to the right there, those are just branches hanging over. I've already cut those and trimmed that, but that still would, how do I want to say this? I would need that. What I trimmed, that's what I need, if that makes any sense.
And then beyond that
Is where the heavy starts.
where it starts.
Yes. So I mean, if we said 12 feet and I move everything this way, now I'm like right there, and I would just maybe have to make do with it, and would that help?
Yeah, I think, I can't speak for you guys, but I think that's what I'm hearing. And
So-
I think it's a very fair point. As far as the.
I mean, I don't know what you guys.
No, and I appreciate that, but you know, I think to Matt's point, if there is some compromise that
Absolutely,
we could make, I think it would be in everybody's best interest.
That takes it from 40 to 30%.
Understood. Well, we go, well, we're doing, that was a little check, so you're saying you're gonna add 12 feet, so it's back to 24 feet, would be 36. So it'd be 4 feet.
Instead of asking.
You're asking for,
16 feet,
you're asking for 12 difference, you want to come back an additional 4 feet, so you're going 30%. I mean, I feel that at least half of this, if you go to a 20% variance, which is an 8-foot delta, So you have to be out to 32-foot setback off of Route 32. That I feel comfortable with the compromise as far as you're bumping back into that extra feet, I would chance an extra 4 feet, but that's a 20% compromise. You're 30 some odd feet off the road. That I think makes sense. To go from 24 to, what are you going, 30, 32, you know, we're going extra, we're gonna come 4 feet, we're 28. I'd like to get that extra 4 feet on that and cut this variance in half to 20%. So 32 feet would be the setback proposed.
Okay, so I'm trying to understand you, so if I'm asking for, in other words, if my post is here where I mark where I would like it, and that determines that was the 16 feet that I'm asking for, you're saying move it 8.
8 feet. Cut it down, 8 feet. That'll give me, again, if I take the 24 feet, I add 8, I add 2 feet.
I'm not trying to argue with you, what can we do 6? Because I think what I can do is once as I told this gentleman, when I trimmed all the branches and I went basically just like that, and I just lopped all the branches and I got all that stuff away. This is where the hill really starts, and I think I can do 6 without really starting to hire equipment to start cutting down the trees and digging this stuff out, maybe. Because I don't
If we
want.
go with 30, we'd rather split hairs. If you go with 30 feet, you do 6-foot variance. If you did a 30-foot, what I would propose, just looking at the survey, and again, you got to put the results, I'm sorry, it has been. I'm looking at the survey, the property line comes in and kinks back out. There's a utility pole marked on this drawing. We don't have the dimension line, it appears to be the closest point. You have a 24-foot to the north of their driveway. There's a 24.5 foot plus minus to the south side, because that pole kicks out. So I'm gonna request that we get the hard dimension from that property line to the eve to Mr. Mark's point, and make sure that that is the full 30 foot off the property, that will be surveyed in on your foundation. On your print, it's coming down straight and it keeps in it, it's got a degree angle to it, 47 degrees. That is actually the nearest point to your driveway. I have
That's 47 feet.
I'm trying to do a reference point. This is 24 feet to the corner. This points in and then swells back up, which is why this is 24.5 feet. This is the point you can measure from. That's the dimension you need surveyed for the 30-foot variance, or for the 30-foot setback. That is the near point. That's the dimension I want to see on this drawing. When it's confirmed and your foundation is in, you have your overhang set.
Well, just so we understand each other, there is no foundation. This is going to be a metal building with Amish coming in with 6x6.
What we could do, Matt, is we could ask for the surveyor to mark the 30-foot dimension before construction starts. You know, we could ask for Don Pigeon to come out
Yeah.
and drive the stake at the 30-foot mark. So we know when the building foundation, you know where the foundation needs to be and the eave and all that. The eave has to be at that 30-foot mark, the edge of the eave.
Okay.
Would that do it, Matt? If we mark the,
So once again, we are doing,
we mark a 30-foot dimension?
so from my 16, that I was asking for, I'm moving everything 6 feet where the eave would start. Is that what we're saying?
Right.
We're asking for 6 more feet.
Okay, done.
Basically,
And I'll call Don and explain what happened.
Because you want the setback of 30 feet instead of 24.
Okay.
With that six, and again, I want that dimension from that nearest point, from that utility.
So if that is a consensus opinion, I would recommend a condition in the approving resolution for the dimension to be staked by the surveyor prior to building.
I'm sorry, prior.
I said I would recommend a condition in the resolution that provides for a stake to be set by the surveyor at the proposed 30-foot dimension.
Yeah.
Before the building permit is issued.
I agree, I like that, thank you, that's a good suggestion. We've done that similar in the past on our jobs, so.
Well, that way, Matt doesn't have to try and guess when before the foundation is dug and all that. You know where the dimension is, and so does the building inspector.
And again, just to be totally honest, there is no foundation.
No, I understand that.
They're gonna drill on the ground, put 6x6s in every 8 feet. And
You're making a pole barn.
exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can call down.
Well, that's all the better, then we don't have to worry about the stake being disturbed during the digging of the footings and things like that. The stake will be there, we can make sure that the eve is measured from that point.
Very good.
Motion that, any more questions, the public hearing is closed, right?
Right? And you affirm that the seeker it's a type 2 action, so it's exempt. So, yeah, I think you're ready for a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve appeal number 839, approving with the contingency, if you will, that the surveyor comes back out prior to any construction. And that the outer corner or overhang of this new structure is at a mark in the ground of 30 feet from the front setback,
So we're providing 10 feet of relief.
providing 10 feet of relief.
Roughly 25%. I'll second that.
Okay, so you just gotta call the roll and
Justin Farrell,
Yes.
Scott Fitzsimmons,
Yes.
Matthew Manning,
Yes.
I have one quick question. Thank you, gentlemen. So tomorrow I will call Don and explain what's going on. We can get that rolling. Can I, or what is best to do? Can I get a building permit for this, although they're gonna come in a month to do it?
And
And
we can permit now, I believe you have to file, I mean, is the variance file official,
well, what happens tomorrow is I'm gonna do a notice of decision.
okay.
I'm gonna do a notice of decision, about the decision that was made tonight, mailed to you. I can email it as well, so you get it immediately, and I'll list the condition as just approved. You can apply for a building permit, and that can be under review. It's just that construction can't start until the inspector verifies that the stake has been placed,
Oh, absolutely.
marking the 30 feet.
Yeah,
So you can apply for the building permit and get that underway.
Yeah.
But we just can't start any actual construction until the mark.
This isn't gonna happen for another 5 weeks anyways.
Right.
Again, I'm trying to get everything in order, and these gentlemen aren't gonna be able to get there till the beginning of November. So this will be completely
But
done.
this is good for you guys, so you got.
Yeah, and then it's good for a year and you have the ability to extend as well.
Yeah, so you got that one. Pretty good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, thank you.
And, I believe that was the only agenda item for tonight, right?
Yep.
Nothing just come in, so,
No other information before the board.
I'll second the motion to adjourn.
Favor? Aye. Shut down that report.